was given just a day's notice. So it was wonderful. So what we're here to learn about today is workplace safety or workplace violence. So I want to introduce our guest speaker, Deputy Chief Rusty Cooper. Began his career in law enforcement in 1991 with the Kingman Police Department. During his 26-year career, he's worked as a patrol officer, a patrol sergeant, criminal investigation sergeant, school resource sergeant, patrol lieutenant, and patrol captain. And he's so young. He has served as the Deputy Chief of Police since May of 2013. He is responsible for oversight of the uniformed operations and support functions of the police department, serving under Chief Robert DeVries. He considers himself a Kingman native, graduating from Kingman High School in 1983. Rusty is a graduate of the FBI National Academy and the Leadership in Police Organizations Academy, and is an active member of the Arizona Association of Chiefs of Police and the International Association of Chiefs of Police. He served as the department's public information officer and is often asked to speak publicly, like today, to community groups, businesses, and organizations on assorted law enforcement topics, to include crime prevention, domestic violence, drug crimes, active shooter, and workplace violence. So please welcome me, or help me welcome.
And I love writing about myself in third person, which was interesting. Thank you for that. It's truly an honor to be able to speak in front of you guys, and I do enjoy this. I didn't used to, but I do enjoy it. And I've just spoken to a couple of you as you were coming in, and several of you mentioned they don't do this enough at different places. So I'm happy to be able to do this and speak in front of you guys. I have been to Kingman a long time. I do consider myself a native. I moved to Kingman in 1978. And there might be a couple people in here that knew me when I was in like 6th grade. I won't tell you their initials, but her first name is Shay. And I lived next to Gabby's sister, Carol, for quite a while, so there might be all kinds of crazy stories.
I want to talk about you.
You do?
Oh, he was the cutest little thing.
Yeah, they do. Oh, I'm coming back. Am I red?
Good job, girls.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I've been doing this for a couple years. I put this together some years ago, and I've updated it a little bit. And I added a few slides towards the end. I'm going to skip over a bunch of slides because it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of stuff. And I don't want to regurgitate a bunch of things. But I'd be happy at the end to answer any questions. I might be able to give you some inside information on the Sid Cranston case. Just to kind of see, so you kind of know what's going on. I know there's a lot of interest, especially in the realtor community. So remind me if I won't say anything too top secret, but I want to give you my opinion. Because we took a lot of lumps in regards to that case, so I'm going to give you some facts. Okay. Well, truths, put it that way. Truths. Anyway, so I've done this several times. Mike came to class for session 2 months, or a month ago?
Yeah, about a month ago.
So, and it's geared towards workplace violence, but then there's going to be a little safety thing towards the end. And nothing I'm going to share with you guys is rocket science. It's all basically common sense. It's just perhaps how it's presented to you, it'll make it a little more urgent for you guys. If you're a broker or an office manager, you really should be paying attention to protecting your employees and your realtors that are working out of your office. And if you're a realtor, and there's lots of dynamics and things that are very unique to your industry that are different than, say, someone that's in a bank. And some of you work in title companies, so you're predominantly maybe in the office. And workplace violence isn't just the active shooter stuff that we hear about. Here at the beginning, there's a couple examples. This just to show you the severity of it. But there's been some high-profile cases over the last several years that you see on the news. But most of the acts of workplace violence is employee on employee, right? Is people getting upset at each other, and they get frustrated, or they break something, that's workplace violence as well. So I don't want to just skip over those things. And you guys are in a unique. Is it accurate to say that there's kind of a boom or a rebound happening?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of new agents coming into the office. It's fairly competitive. you know, I don't want to necessarily see hands, but I would imagine that any of you experienced workplace violence in regards to that, where people are getting ticked off or upset, or I thought I had the floor, that was my lead, this is your lead. I could imagine it's pretty competitive, and that just by the nature of your industry and your business creates competition. And then when you guys come after your mixers, because I know y'all are drinking at those mixers. Dean invited me to a couple mixers. You guys seen Dean on a microphone at a mixer? Dean just It wasn't. And I know this is being recorded, so I need to be real careful too. Because I like the tease, I like the jokes, so if I make fun of you, it means I like you. So I've already made fun of Shay, and I've already made fun of Dean, and there'll be more. I haven't met Mike very much, but I like Mike. Anyway, just so anytime, please raise your hands, ask any questions. That's the most recent one, and it occurred just almost 2 months ago. It occurred in Orlando. Orlando's had a rough couple of years. But I like to show these because how I like to prove these, most of these acts of violence in the workplace always seem to involve, most of them involve an employee that's in the business or some kind of domestic connection to a person, like a spouse or a husband. I think they call it intimate partner violence now.
No.
IPV.
Okay.
You all know why they're doing that. That's a whole other topic I'm going to be starting because I'm being recorded. Anyway, so I like to show the background of these cases and just kind of set a foundation. But again, this isn't meant to terrify you or make you scared. These are relatively rare. We can see them all over the news. So I want to caution that. I don't want you leaving here thinking, oh my God. So there's a realtor, it was in Arkansas a while back, that was raped and killed and kidnapped and blah, blah, blah. It's pretty rare. But still, it doesn't mean it can never happen. So that's kind of my ultimate goal when you guys leave here, just to get you kind of thinking outside of the box, don't become complacent. But in this case in Orlando, this guy was fired from his job. He had negative relationships with coworkers. There have been previous acts of violence in the workplace, which is important because if you're an office manager or broker, you're running, and if you ignore violence, that's a problem. I don't know if you have policy. We have policy and procedure. A lot of businesses, they have a employee conduct manual, there's discipline procedures. So if you're a manager or a boss or supervisor, you really can't be ignoring things. In this case, 6 people were killed. This person was a veteran. PTSD is something that's new, well, relatively new, the last 15 years, but we hear about it all the time. Another incident in Kansas, this was in February. His name is Cedric Ford. He's an employee. He had a history of alcohol abuse, violence, and depression. He was served a restraining order earlier in the day. 18 people were shot and 4 were killed, which is including himself. What I think is interesting on this one, this is a picture of him in the scene. This is his Facebook post. If you're hiring employees or prospective agents, and I'm assuming the term is right, if you're the broker, is that the right term? And you're going to have somebody use your office space, man, check their Facebook. Creep. I'm the biggest creeper there is. I mean, Facebook's, if you need to check. And if you have a broker, say, and he's got a picture like that, that doesn't mean you don't want to hire him, because it's, right to bear arms and all that stuff. But would that give you maybe show pause a little bit? Then if you're here, there's kind of domestic issues. I've been in the community for a long time. I've talked to different people in most of the offices. So I know that there's drama going on in y'all's offices. Who doesn't have drama going on in the office? Really? Not yet. I don't mean right now. There hasn't been drama in the past. So I don't mean active. Most do, whether it's internal theft or whether it's domestic, where someone's husband is stalking one of the employees. So that's what I'm talking as well. You got a disgruntled boyfriend or girlfriend, and they're upset. All this has a tendency to spill over into the workplace. It's easy to joke about, I gotta be real careful because it's really not funny. But it makes it easier to talk about sometimes.
The morning after in Seal Beach, California, grief is still palpable. Memories and sorrow pass through flowers, homes, and candles, a shrine at the site of the worst mass killing in Orange County history.
These are great people. These are great people. They just, they go on and on and on. I mean, it's going to, the stories are going to come out. This is nothing yet. These people are all family. I mean, I'm so sorry.
It happened Wednesday afternoon. Police say Scott DeFry opened fire in the Salon Meritage where his ex-wife Michelle Fournier was working. Within minutes, authorities say he shot and killed her and 7 others, including the salon's owner, Randy Cannon. One woman remains hospitalized. Officers chased down DeFry minutes later, arresting him a half-mile away.
The city of Seal Beach suffered the most horrific tragedy in its history. This was not a random act of violence. The suspect knew his intended victim.
In court filings obtained by the AP, the suspect's ex-wife made allegations that the 41-year-old man was mentally unstable, abusive, suicidal, and made threats to kill others. The filings also showed DeFry suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. The two were locked in a bitter child custody dispute and had a court hearing earlier this week. DeFry's home in Huntington Beach is surrounded by a manicured lawn. Toys and a basketball hoop show children play here. His neighbors are in disbelief.
I figured it's just normal divorce stuff, and I mean, never anything that would make someone snap like he did. Just you don't think that your neighbors is even capable of things like that.
But those acquainted with the victims are not.
You know, if Scott's such a sunshine person, who does something like what he allegedly did?
This community, some call Mayberry by Los Angeles, is in the thick of mourning. John Owen, Associated Press, Seal Beach, California.
I like to show that one because the one lady who's a neighbor says, I thought it was just divorce type stuff. Probably 90% of the homicides we've handled in the last, 15 years, most of them are domestic violence related. Divorce, custody, financial strain, infidelity, right? So there is no such thing as normal divorce type stuff. And what's interesting to that comment is there's also that aspect, it's a human nature thing, I believe, where we don't want to get involved in somebody else's business. Well, I would tell you, you're right, it's not your business until it becomes your business. And that could be in the form of, if you're a supervisor, you need to be paying attention. If you're a manager or a boss, you need to be paying attention to what's going on in your workplace. You need to be paying attention to what your agents are experiencing when they're out in the field. Because if they're telling you this creepy thing is going on or it's something making you uncomfortable, you really need to be paying attention to that. And I'm assuming that most of you are. But you need to be paying attention to that. If you know one of your agents or a co-worker is going through divorce situations, that doesn't mean you need to get in their business. Because that's a whole other aspect I'm not talking. You don't need to be nosy and gossiping. But if you're truly going to have a relationship with your coworkers, if things get messy, you need to be paying attention and do something. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but it may just be as simple as, hey, do you need to talk? Can I help you? Or you may need to take it to the next step where you need to go tell your supervisor, whoever's responsible for your office, hey, just so you know, Susie here is having, nobody's her name, Susie, is having some issues or concerns, just so you know about it, but give her a hard time making threats, right? So those are just things you need to be thinking about. So I'm going to skip over that. In this case, it was post-traumatic stress, previous issues in the office. Everybody knew about it. She refused help. They offered to get an order of protection, and she didn't want to do it because she didn't want to set them off. And obviously had some terrible, disastrous results. I'm going to skip over it. So there's several examples, just for the sake of time. I don't want to reiterate all of these things. But they're all...
California.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of California examples. The definition of what workplace violence is anything, basically, we talked about, anything that's sufficiently severe, offensive, or intimidating, causing individual reasonable fear for their own safety or their family, friends, or property. Most commonly, it takes the place of physical violence, sexual violence, threats, emotional abuse, and harassment. Harassment's real common. Harassment's real common, and we don't necessarily associate it with violence, but it's something that you need to be paying attention to. Now, I'm not telling you just because two employees are arguing that I would recommend that you take discipline. Just as a supervisor or manager, you just need to know. You just need to know about it, and I need to be paying attention. Anything that occurs on your property, including employer's property, and this is the one, anything with legitimate business interest, this really applies to you. Workplace violence isn't just your physical office. For you guys, it's anything that occurs out in the field, because that's your workplace. So just something to keep in mind. You guys understand that more than anybody else would. Somebody that works in a bank or an office, they have a hard time thinking about that. But you guys are out in the field. That's workplace. Someone that drives for Pepsi or Coke and delivers things, or beer distributors, it's not just their warehouse. Their workplace is also out at Circle K or at Safeway or the store where they're stocking shelves. That's also workplace. And most of the homicides that occur in the workplace are due to armed robberies. So you got to think about that. That's also in that definition of a workplace violence. Someone goes into a convenience store and holds up their clerk and they get shot and killed. That's also factored into the statistics in regards to workplace violence. I would throw this out there. This is specific to managers, I guess. You can be off duty. Let me give you an example. I'll use chambermaids. If you got all of your agents together, and then there's a manager, say the broker's involved, and you're talking work, you created a work environment. So that's something to think about. Employees, it's one level, but if you're a manager, because we've had this issue with the police department, where guys are off duty, and they're doing whatever you do off duty, same thing you guys are all doing at the training mixers.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what's introduced in those situations? Which I gave up a long time ago, but that's a whole other topic. It's one situation, but as soon as you put a supervisor or a boss or a manager into that situation and it starts having discussions of work and tempers are flaring and somebody, the supervisor says, you know what, starts doing the whole drunk uncle thing with his employees, that's a work environment. It's a work environment. So for me, it's an issue. That it maybe is none of my business until it becomes my business. And once that happens, and it's happened, it is now my business. And I'm all in the middle of it. And I'm issuing discipline, and I'm issuing letters of correction, and I'm telling them how the cows eat cabbage kind of thing. And it takes some teaching, because they're thinking, well, this is off duty. I wasn't working. It was a Saturday. I wasn't on duty. But you're all work for me. And you're my supervisor. And now you're talking about work. I am in that. So as a manager, as a supervisor or broker, it's just something to think about. Just to be aware of that in regards to off-duty stuff. A lot of people don't think about that. And where it's important for that is the liability. Obviously, the police department, we're very visible. We're not perfect. I got people. Things happen. I'm on camera, so I'll be very careful. But things happen, and we deal with it. And there's the aspect of people are looking at us differently. So I have to treat things a little different than maybe what others might do. But it's something to be thinking about. It can impact your business. If you're all wearing your logo of your brokerage company, and all this craziness is going on. It's something to think about. Pretty much anybody can commit workplace violence. It's just occurring in that atmosphere. A lot of studies. I'm not going to get into a lot of this. So I'm going to skip through a bunch of these because I want to get to the end. Not because I don't like you guys. That's just where the important stuff is. Homicide, the leading cause of death, and it's usually women that are killed. This pyramid was interesting. Most of the acts of violence in the workplace are through intimidation and harassment. The next thing is physical assaults, and then there again, homicides are very small, but that's all you hear about. You never hear about this. And I know this goes on in our community, and I'm sure it goes on in your industry locally as well. Just different things are happening. This is the bulletin. This regards those violent acts that occur. They don't just snap or suddenly. This is what this is saying. That there's always a gradual progression. There's signs and symptoms. There's little indicators. When you go back and look at these acts of violence where they involve guns, violence, and whatnot, people always say, I knew there was something about that guy. I knew there was something weird, uncomfortable. You know, I heard him yelling and screaming at his wife on the phone. Again, I'm not telling you what you do when you hear that stuff. I'm just telling you, you can't ignore it. And we're going to talk about what you as realtors can do. But the first, I think the topic on the slide is just be suspicious of everybody. Especially the customers. You can be suspicious of each other too if you want to. But when you're out there in the field, you need to be suspicious of everybody. Okay. Now what's interesting with these things, clusters combined with diminished performance, increased tardiness, poor relations, decreased productivity, that probably describes every single one of you at one point or another every day. So these are just things over a constant, maybe not you, because she obviously was offended by that, so it's not you. I like you. But these things suggest a high level of violence, so it's just stuff to be aware of. Again, this can describe every one of us any day. But I think we all know when somebody's crossing that line, where it's not just normal, where these things are normal, there's a point where you probably can think of somebody that you've known, that they've done just a little bit further beyond that. They're a little bit more depressed than they should be. They're a little bit more despondent. You know about the situation in their life that's going on. Again, I'm not telling you to get into their business, but just be aware of it. Maybe you can offer them an ear that they can talk to. Or if it's affecting work and things are spilling over and you hear somebody on the phone yelling and screaming at your coworker, you might want to talk to somebody and say, hey, just so you know, so-and-so's husband or boyfriend or whatever is yelling and screaming, and I know he was threatening her. Then maybe you can kind of come to some resolution what you need to do, if anything. What happens at home does not stay at home. I know I've had some lousy days, and if I have a lousy leaving the house in the morning or I've had a rough situation, it impacts my work. You all can probably relate to that. If I leave and it's on a good tone, I still may have a lousy day at work, but it's a lot better than it is if I leave the house and things are kind of crappy in regards to the relationship with the kids or with your wife or husband or whatever. But you need to know that what happens at home doesn't stay at home. It spills over to the workplace. And there is no such thing as normal divorce stuff. So if someone's going through that, that's rough. Makes it rough. Some early warning signs. I'm going to skip through these. You guys see something that looks really interesting. There's a lot of statistics, and I don't like to beat those up too much. Again, I like to get out of that. It's personal, none of my business. Well, there might be a point where it is none of your business until it becomes your business, and you got to determine when it's going to be. Domestic violence, that's why there's so many slides in regards to it. It's the leading cause of workplace violence. It has some kind of nexus to a domestic situation. There's environmental controls, administrative controls, behavioral controls. Environmental means there's things that you can do with your office space to make it easier for employees to get out. Let's say some crazy person comes in there and he's wielding let's say a trash can. Because most of them aren't going to do this. Let's say it's some homeless person and he's drunk and he's coming in with a stick. What are you going to do? So as an employer, you can design your offices a certain way so all your employees have an easy way to get out one way or the other. So that's like an environmental control. So that's what that's referred to. Administrative controls, those are things you can put in place. All right, this is our policy. This is how you're expected to behave. There's never going to be you're never going to have one person. There's always going to be at least two of you. That's an example of administrative control. Then behavioral controls, that's how I look at it, like discipline. If you do this and this, you're going to get rid of them. Right? Like being tardy, that's a behavioral control. There's motivation through consequence. A lot of those things, if you have a good balance of those three things, it can lower the chances of you having ongoing violence in the workplace. Therefore, creating a more safe environment for your people. So I'm going to skip a lot of those. I was talking with Lori.
Yeah.
And I'm going to forward her these slides, and they'll be on your Facebook page. And these are things that you get off different locations. I'm just presenting them to you. There's a couple things that are mine, but most of it's all like open source information. Some examples of behavioral controls. What do you guys think of the chances you're going to have to deal with an act or an incident of workplace violence, percentage-wise? Just throw something out there.
7%.
Well, they say it's 60%. Yeah. And I would challenge you, I would say if I was to actually get into your, based on this definition, if I was to actually get into your business and talk to you, I could probably say, well, technically that meets the definition of workplace violence. The violence doesn't just mean punching somebody. Okay, so just think, I'm not telling you this, you need to do something about it, but just an employee looking at it and say, you know what, F you, and leave it, that's right there. That's not normal behavior, that's not acceptable, it's unprofessional, right? So that's technically kind of meets that, so it's something to think about, okay?
I'm just wondering, would that include throwing rubber snakes and spiders at people?
Are you picking?
If it was done, it was done, maybe.
Hide dolls in the toilet.
Chuck's phonetic again.
That could be harassment. It's what's the heart. I know you're being silly, but truly, if it's, we don't need to get all legalistic and whatever with some of this stuff. Bullying, that's kind of a new term when I put this together. That's just something to be aware of. That's also kind of something to factor in. That doesn't mean if someone's being bullied that they're going to come in with an AK-47 on the next work day. Again, none of this means that someone's going to do that. That's just something that we need to think about. Bullying was something new 10 years ago in the schools. It's been going on years and years. This was a term there for a while. All we heard about was bullying. Well, it's increasing in the workplace as well. And I could come up with all kinds of examples how it would be the same in your business. Okay, these are employers, what employees can do. This applies to a lot of you guys. Man, be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of all your customers. You deal with some, I'm sure, weird people. Those aren't, yeah, that's just your coworker.
Except you would like that. Yeah, right.
And again, this isn't specific to your industry. This is just kind of generic. Water department. I put this together initially for the city when we did the water department, and they always have customers that are coming in and they're upset. And it's never their fault, and the fact that they didn't pay their bill on time. And the city complex is just this open. It's a mess. It's old. It's not secure. It's sterile.
The rental departments too, with all the brokerages.
My mom worked property management in Barber's office for years and years and years.
It's scary.
And there's some really shady stuff there. Yeah.
People.
Well, they're upset, and you're the one working. You're the middleman. You're trying to enforce your tenant, your landlord's right stuff. And you're taking their security deposits away. Yeah, I got called to their office a lot. Become familiar with your coworkers. That's important. And then you can report stuff. Legal issues. I don't want to get into that too much. It's kind of common sense stuff there. Arizona does have a law, though, where you it's specific to the workplace, where someone can be issued an order of protection or an injunction against harassment. So that just gives you the statute reference. That's mainly for employers, because you can issue something on behalf of an employee. Because if I was to ask, like the one lady, she was asked, wants to issue an order. No. I don't want to be more angry. If you're an employer or broker or boss, you can seek this out on your own on behalf of your workplace. So it kind of keeps them neutral. You know, where they would be able to tell the estranged boyfriend, for example, I had nothing to do with it. Kind of keeps them clean, sort of. All right, realtor challenges. And you can't tell, I just put this in just the other day because I knew I was coming. But that's crime scene taking. So that would be kind of a clever name. Realtor challenges. Just so you know, that's a creeper. He's not reading her clipboard. I don't think. But here's your challenge. You guys are isolated often, and you're very mobile. You guys are moving around a lot. You're driving your car all the time. That's unique to your industry. And some of the things that you guys need to be aware of is you need to be suspicious of everybody. I'm not telling you to be paranoid, but you need to be suspicious of everybody. You can identify and pre-qualify at your first meeting. I don't know about the pre-qualification piece, but you know, if you get their identification and you're doing this pre-qualifying in your office, you're checking their history, you're checking all this stuff, and if they've already been in that process, that kind of establishes they're really there for serious business. They're not there just to take advantage of you. That incident in, I think it was Arkansas, at Realtor, that guy was a predator. This kind of minimizes the chances of you having a predator. happen. And it's usually a guy, and it's usually him focusing on or obsessing on a female realtor. That's the most common type. This is just something that you can do to increase your safety. And stay in communication with your office. I would hope that you all have something in place where you're letting them know, I'm going here, I'm going there. We got technology, we got cell phone stuff where you can all sync your phones, where you do the Find My iPhone or the Find My Phone. There's apps for that, where you can know where everybody's at.
Share my location.
Share your location.
Share my location.
And maybe you don't want coworkers to know, but if you're the broker or if you're the office manager, maybe only you can access that. So these are things you can be thinking about. But then again, if you're the agent, you want them to know every single place that you're going. So you got to kind of weigh that out. Because maybe you don't. Because it's hard to turn off and on, right? But if you're going somewhere, they should know where you're at. But stay in communication with your office. Have things in place where you're not, that nobody knows, nobody doesn't know where you're at. There should always be somebody that knows where you're going. Open houses. Does anybody not have give me some ideas of some procedures that are in place for open houses.
Have a letter with you.
Have a lender, so there's somebody, it's kind of like a buddy system. Yeah. And I know you can only do so much, but again, just think about, you got an open house. Is it really isolated? Where is the open house? How big is the house? How big is the property? Because you don't want to go in. I'm going to talk, there's a couple of spots on that. If someone's coming in, you don't necessarily want to follow them. Stay in the front. Don't go upstairs, don't go downstairs, don't go into a small space. You stay out by your desk. If you're showing somebody a house, stay outside, let them go in. I don't know how you guys work that, but if you're concerned or you're getting that creepy feeling, follow your instinct. If you know them, okay. If you had a relationship with them, they sat with you in your office, you've taken them around a few times, you've been with the husband and the wife, and you go, do what you're comfortable with. But follow your instincts. If you got a creepy feeling, the sale ain't worth it. Just ain't worth it. So if you're going to be outside or at the front door, let them go in. So just something like that. Predetermined code words. If you got a buddy, or if you're like a lender or somebody's with you, I don't know, work out a code word. You say that means we want to end this. So if you're getting that icky feeling, just have some kind of code word. You can just random. If you're on the phone, no, that upgrade's not included with that property. That tells them. It needs not be really weird though, Dee. What did I want? Did that involve pancakes? Pancakes. I think you should be a little more sneaky than that. But code words, something to think about. Or if you're on the phone and you're just getting that creepy feeling and the person's inside, you're talking to your office manager. I'm assuming everybody's got like an office manager or something that coordinates. Have some kind of thing in place where he knows, all right, I need to get over there, or I'm going to send somebody over there. Or I'm going to call the police department, see if they can have an officer go over there, because we do that all the time as well. So stuff to think about. Buddy system, kind of talked about it. I know that's not always capable. You're not always able to go somewhere with two people. But if you know there's a questionable client, do what you need to do. Know how to defend yourself. And I'm going to talk about that here in the next couple of slides. Use your smartphone. I like this. If you know you're going somewhere and you're meeting somebody out at a property and their car's already there, say it's out somewhere, it's isolated, or you just take a picture of their plate or take a picture of their car and send it to somebody in your office. Tell them what you're doing. Because if they say, hey, what are you doing? Well, we do this for safety. We let them know who we are. It's on. You can baloney them. Maybe it's just going to be on your phone, but they don't know what you're doing. Yeah, we send it to the office. They know who I'm out with. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Just tell them. Just make it a matter of part of your spiel. You're all realtors. It's like selling cars.
We're lost.
You know what I'm saying. It's like, okay, pick back up. It's like being a police officer. You get your spiel down. You know what to say.
Yeah.
And you just have it become part of who you are. even if you're not feeling comfortable, you need to fake it till you make it, kind of thing. And if you're a new agent, it can really be weird. It's kind of like, but you need to get your spiel down. So you can say, hey, yeah, this is what we do. I take a picture of the car, so and so. It's public record. There's nothing private about that. It's kind of like your driver's license. If you're in the office, yeah, you gotta take a picture of the license. Don't give them an option. You know, you don't want to be bossy, but tell them that's what we do for safety. You know. So if there is somebody that's a predator or somebody that's thinking about doing something or robbing you, because it's not always the sexual motivation. It's sometimes they just want to rip you off, or they want to steal your purse, or they want to take your jewelry, or they want to whatever. So use your smartphone. In regards to defending yourself, do you think you could hurt somebody if they were going to hurt you? Some people would say, if I was to truly pull you, there'd probably be about 30% of you would probably say, I don't know if I could. To me, that's not good. Somebody's going to harm you. I'm not telling you you should enjoy hurting them. Right? You can if you do. Hey. But if they're going to harm you, and if they're coming at and they're moving up on you and they're pushing you into a corner, right? If it's a guy and he's pushing up on you, hey, what's going on? You know, if I do attractive, and you say you need to knock it off, and they don't, you need to be able to do an impact push, and knee strike in the groin, or shove a thumb in their eye, or shove their nose up in their head with the palm of your hand. Can you do that? Or somebody going, I don't know if I could. So what happens if you don't then? So are you willing to put up with that?
Yeah.
Or would you rather hurt them than run? Because you don't stay there and grapple and fight. You're going to do those things, but you need to run those scenarios through your mind. You need to rehearse those things so when you're in that situation, you don't go to panic. That you get out of there quick. So that's stuff to think about. Let's speed up. Again, we talked about that. Some things you can do. Don't go to small spaces. Tell them what you're doing. And that last one, if someone's going to hurt you, can you hurt them? Again, not that you want to enjoy that. All right, I'm running out of time. So what was I going to talk to you guys about? Here we go. Any questions on any of that? Again, this is like an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of stuff. We did this in about 40 minutes.
I have a generic question. I know that Arizona is a constitutional carry state, and you don't necessarily have to obtain any type of a concealed permit.
Correct.
But as far as, certain offices might not allow a weapon or a firearm into the actual office location, but this being, like, my car is my office, and me running around is the workplace, what point, where does that kind of like cross a fine line?
I can't speak to your brokerage rules. Because you have whatever rules you have, I don't know, I'm trying to think. RE/MAX, they have whatever, if you're going to be they call it if you're going to be under RE/MAX or 21 or Keller Williams or the different ones, they may have things for you to be part of their company, they may have requirements. I can't speak to that. So, outside of that, to me, if you're in a car, every one of you should have a gun in your car. And you should know how to use it. I'm very pro that.
Okay.
You just need to know how to use it.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to use it. My wife, for example, had a friend, and she doesn't know how to use it, and they were driving a car, and they stopped in the glove box, and the gun came flopping out on my wife's lap, and she has no idea what to do with the gun, and neither did her friend. So, I don't know if I'm answering that question, but that's for you to decide. If your employer says, no, you can't, you kind of have to follow that, or else you need to work somewhere else. That does do. So, and I don't want to have it show of hands who has guns, but I can't think, is there any realtor rule where you cannot have a gun for your certification or for licensing?
No.
Okay. That's part of knowing how to defend yourself. Even if you don't want to carry one, I feel like I have to at least encourage you to know how to handle one. Take a gun, take a class, know how to shoot and fire. And at least you know. Then you can determine if you want to carry a gun or not.
Does the police department here do self-defense classes, or there is no place?
Other than talking about it, we don't do the hands-on stuff, and a lot of people ask for it. I'm not aware of places that do. I'm sure that there is, but I'm not aware of it. Okay.
I saw last week a new, because I'm one that's hesitant about a gun. I saw a new gun that they put out. It looks just like a gun, but it shoots 2 tasers. And instead of like a police taser that only lasts 5 seconds or whatever, it lasts 30 seconds. Have you seen those?
I've heard of them. Yeah. And those are good options. That's a good point. Pepper spray. So I should qualify my statement. Pepper spray is a good option. Keep it in your gun. It can be attached to your keychain. It's like a one-time use. It's enough for you to spray on the person's face, and then you go. The taser thing's kind of the same way. It's like a one-time thing. Ours, we can take them apart. The end comes off. I don't know if that one does that, but those are supposed to temporarily incapacitate.
30 seconds, I thought, would give you time. You wouldn't be killing somebody.
Yeah.
But you could run.
You don't want to kill anybody?
If they're dumb enough to go.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I think I've never had it. It's came close, but it's never happened. So that's a good point. There's lots of little meat areas. You don't have to go right to the gun. I just know where I right to carry state. You don't have to be licensed even to carry concealed. You can carry it concealed as long as you're 18 or older, don't have a felony record, and no convictions for domestic violence. But I mean, otherwise, anybody can carry it and make it concealed.
I had somebody tell me that if you're going to use pepper spray, they're too close to you already. That's why you should have a gun.
Could be. Well, it depends what you want to do. You're with your, yes, but you guys work in close proximity to whoever might be causing you some problems. So they're going to be within 10, 15 feet or closer. So to me, if you got your purse or it's in your pocket or whatever, you're able to just you go. So it depends what the purpose is for. And again, if you're not comfortable with guns, then you don't want to do it. Guns freak people out. I'm not a gun guy. I work with a lot of guys that are just gun nuts, and I'm not that guy, but I'm comfortable.
I want you to talk, so I'm not going to talk long. I just wanted to tell the women in the class, because this happened to me once, and I'll tell them the mistake I made. I had somebody in my car, and I felt really, really creepy about it. I didn't feel right at all. And so I got about 2 blocks away from the office, and I thought, this guy is not good news, he's bad. So I made a U-turn and went back to my office, and when he asked me, what are you doing, instead of making something up, like I forgot something, or I told him the truth, I'm really uncomfortable with you, I'm going back to my office. So that's a mistake. You have to have something prepared, or if that happens to you.
What happened?
Well, he got out of my car, he's very upset, and he left, but luckily I was okay, but that's just something bad.
That's why you want to mentally rehearse.
Exactly.
Mentally rehearse. So if you're the broker, office manager, you got new agents, or you want to bring everybody together, you want to have a training session. Hey, think about this, and you guys might together come up with what kind of common word can we use? What can we use in house? What can you tell somebody that's creeping you out of your car?
Yeah, that was stupid.
Well,
And there's the other thing, I will not take a client in my car, period. I broke my rule recently. It was an old woman, for Christ's sake, she's 78 years old. She kept grabbing my arm going, but honey, my wheel is going like this all over the place. I don't know how many times I had to tell her, don't touch me. Now granted, I wasn't threatened, but I could have been harmed, but I broke my own rule. No clients in my car. If they can't follow me,
and that works for you. All right, real quick. I know everybody's wanting to know about the Sid Cranston thing, right? You guys got 5 minutes. It'll probably take more than that, but I'll tell you what I can. And again, none of this is confidential information. I just know everybody talks about him being a realtor that was out showing property, and that had nothing to do with it. He wasn't doing realtor stuff. This is him associating with shady people and his friends, and they were taking care of his property. So the fact that he's a realtor, I've heard that before. And he wasn't doing realtor stuff. I don't think he was actively involved with anybody. I'm not even sure if his realtor license was current or whatever. He just was a guy, entrepreneur guy, right? Most of you probably know this. Some of you might know him better than me, more so. But he happened to have some shady relationships, and we believe it was El Blanco. One shady guy. There's several, obviously. From the get-go, not from the get-go, real quick into this, we started having an adversarial relationship with the family, which was unfortunate. They were getting lots of bad information from other people. And our motivation from the beginning was to determine what happened with him and who did it. It was very suspicious from the get-go. And some of the pressure from outside sources was just to find out where he was. Like, not caring about anything else, but just to find out where he was. So we were getting pressure from different sources to do that, and we weren't going to do that. There's a process and a procedure, and we want to be able to determine what happened, who did it, and hold them responsible. Because we were just to flow through and not follow the proper protocol and procedures, a lot of that evidentiary wouldn't be able to, we wouldn't be able to use it like now we are. So there was from the get-go, there was some kind of adverse stuff going on. Obviously, people's emotions were high, right? Everybody knows this person in the family. There's a lot of passion, understandably so. But then at some point, the FBI does get involved. It was very good, which just helps us. They have other resources. But I can tell you this, there's nothing that they did that we hadn't already done. And which I'm not saying that to say they didn't help us, because they did. Ultimately, at the end, they were able to do some things that helped us. Because of how it was difficult for us at the beginning, people weren't really wanting to help us, whereas the FBI was able to come in and establish a relationship with witnesses and other case-related people, and to get to meet them, and ultimately that's where the information came up, where we found out where he was at. And we all know the end result. But everything my officers and detectives had done was already, nobody else could do anything different. Because there was we were getting a lot of heat from different people. You know, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I would disagree with just every single one of them. Because we did everything we could have done, that could have been done, and we followed it through the best we can. As a matter of fact, we maybe would have possibly been able to solve it a little sooner, but people were going after who they perceived to be the suspect at the time, and it was really caused us a lot of problems, investigative-wise. Right? I'm hoping you understand what I'm talking about. And who knows how that's going to go. You know, we're still waiting for trial, but we did, we think that we solved it. There's only two people that know what happened, Sid and the other guy. Right? That's it. There's a third guy that knows pieces, but as far as what and how and what led to, you know, time to tell. We'll see how it goes. So, anyway, I'd just like to kind of take the opportunity just to let everybody know, especially you guys, because you have an interest. I know the Realtor community was really involved in different groups that we speak to, and I just like to basically brag on what my officers and detectives did. They did a great job. They did a wonderful job. And I would say acknowledged by the FBI and the different other groups that we had come in to help us and to kind of consult. Because we did. We had them consult. Is there anything else that we're missing? Is there anything else that you can bring into this? Is there any thermal imaging? Is there any satellite stuff you guys can do? Any other resources? And there really was nothing. So that told me that my guys did a really good job. It just took 2 years, year and a half, to go out. So, anything else? Any other questions? Appreciate you guys. I thank you for the opportunity to speak in front of you. I hope this made sense. And I always offer, if you know of any other topic, I spoke to your group once before. Gosh, it was probably 6 years ago, and I don't remember what the topic was. Can't remember. But it was a whole different group of people. I'm happy to do it. I got other people that can speak to other issues as well. Fraud, forgery is always something like to throw out there. But again, it's an honor to be able to talk to you guys. So thank you very much.